Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about the man marked by flames. So, as of chapter 1056, we know Kid and Law have hinted at the last person, or the only person, that they know who has information about the last poneglyph. And let's not say that he's the only person who can decipher it because Robin's there, Pudding's there. God knows what's gonna happen about the deciphering of the poneglyphs. But from what it looks as though Law and Kid know about the person who has the information or has the poneglyph themselves. Now, as of who could this be, let's get into it a little bit later. But from the way they said it, it looks as though they're in hiding or they're, constantly running. Sort of like Dracula Mihawk before he became one of Buggy's men. Or even if he's Buggy's man, he's still probably roaming around the Grand Line doing his own stuff. So sort of like Mihawk, sort of like maybe Dragon. I mean, okay, the Revolutionaries had a base, but it's hard to get whereabouts about these influential figures. Like, Dragon, Shanks, what you might call Dragon Shanks and Mihawk. But so we could say that this person is running or perhaps hiding. They have no lead on it, however. It's not just because they know the man doesn't exactly mean he's one-upping Luffy. They're one-upping Luffy. Number one, Luffy has the only person in the world, perhaps the only person in the world, who can decipher the poneglyph, who is Robin. Other than that, they have no leads. They know the person, but knowing the person by in and of itself is not enough. So I'm not saying that Law and Kid already has a one-up on Luffy, but I wouldn't mind it if they do. If they do, it's alright because Luffy is already handy. He's the main character. I mean, someone needs to one him up, or maybe Blackbeard is, but anyways. From the looks of it, it doesn't seem as though they know that the man can decipher the poneglyphs, but has information or, access to the poneglyph. And it seems as though Robin knows about the man as well. But if Robin really knows about it, why isn't she telling Luffy? I mean, probably the same reason why he didn't tell anyone about Pluton being in Wano. That made a lot of sense. But I think she knows a little bit about it, if not much. And considering she's been with the Revolutionaries and who has access to a lot of information about the world, it's likely that she knows. I wouldn't be surprised if she does. Now that we've talked about the man, let's talk about the candidates. The first person that came to mind was Sabo. Sabo being the first-hand commander, second in command of the revolutionary armies, who is, as of now, the most influential person, even more than Dragon, who is known throughout the world, little more than Dragon, who has started an uproar in the New World. It's an obvious choice. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sabo. Then again, it's a letdown. And he has a scar in his eye, basically scar of flames, that got burned by flames. And okay, for most readers, that comes to the conclusion, while just reading the chapter, it's not a bad guess. It is really not a bad guess. For someone like Sabo to know about anything of these sorts, it's not unlikely. But if Sabo knows about this, Dragon definitely knows about it even more. And he sort of meets the criteria. He's a revolutionary. He goes around the world, does whatever he wants to do. He has missions ongoing every single time we meet him. He's always going to places, liberating isolated nations that are not aligned with the world government, or perhaps dealing with illegal smuggling or whatnot. He falls under that criteria as well. But from the expressions we've had from Kid and Law, it seems as though the person that they're trying to find is hard to negotiate with or is hard to deal with. It won't be as easy as, okay, I found this man, I tell him that I need the poneglyph and he's going to give it to me for free. No, it's not going to happen. He's a hard man to deal with. And if he wasn't a hard man to deal with, anyone would have access to the poneglyph. And on this remark, if it is Shanks, No, it cannot be Shanks. I don't care if Shanks has a hidden scar in his body, but no, it cannot be Shanks. It's too obvious of an answer. I like it how Oda twisted it up a little bit. He didn't just automatically give the name, and he didn't automatically hint at Shanks. And I don't want Shanks to have the last poneglyph. Now that I think about it, I'm a little bit more interested to find out about a new character. Yes, we got Sama to deal with, we have Blackbeard to deal with. Problems aren't over, but I wouldn't mind an introduction of a very interesting character that comes at the end of the series. And if he does, I would be very glad. As we're leaving Sabo off the mark, now let us talk about the second candidate that I had in mind, that is Dragon. So, Dragon, why did I come to the conclusion of Dragon? If Dragon knows the information, the rest of the revolutionaries definitely don't, because he is the leader. He is the leader, he has all the information access, and he decides whether or not the information should be leaked or whether it should be hidden with him. Now, this from, man marked by flames, like reason why I'm talking about Dragon, is because of his tattoo. We're not exactly sure if it is a tattoo, if it's a scar mark, I don't even know what it is. But it looks like spiral patterns of flame. Maybe it is a kind of flame in the One Piece world. We're not exactly sure of what it is, but I would be really excited if Dragon is the person. He was built up to be the most wanted man in the world, and if the most wanted man in the world has access to the last poneglyph, it would be mind-boggling. And it wouldn't really be a surprise as well. Considering we've talked about the location of the last poneglyph in the Road to Laugh-Tale thing, and where I said the revolutionaries might have access to it, and Dragon makes the most sense out of them. Because if it gets out of hand, if, for example, anyone but Dragon, among the revolutionaries knew about the poneglyph, it's very easy for information to go all around the world. But if Dragon knows about it, and he has no interest in poneglyphs or the real history, whatever, whatnot, he wouldn't be spilling it to every single person he meets. And that makes it a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. Because, and again, Dragon is a hard man to find. The Marines can't track him down. They do have a base, but it's not like Dragon sits in the base every single 24/7 and just decides what to do next. He is actively in operation with the revolutionaries. He's the leader. He needs to do a lot of work, and he would make a perfect candidate. And he could definitely be a hard man to pursue, considering he's a revolutionary. He's the will of D, and he has access to all this information, all these knowledge that most people don't have. He wouldn't just be giving it to anyone for free, and that sort of fits the criteria. Although it's not as straightforward as it is. If it was Dragon, it would be a bummer for me because I want, again, my bias towards meeting a new character to find the last poneglyph and new interaction with Luffy and the gang. I'm literally looking forward to that because as of now, other than Sama, everyone else have sort of, in one way, shape, or form, come in contact with Luffy. I'm not saying the Straw Hats, but with Luffy and himself. So, Dragon and Luffy, yes, they haven't interacted, but they know each other. And I wouldn't like the dynamic. It's sort of like a bias. Like, what would Dragon give Luffy? A test, some sort of a test to prove that he's worth? I mean, hey, that's not even, that's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. I wouldn't really want it. And that sort of rules out Dragon as well. The last person on my list to talk about the whole thing that most people, not most people, but a lot of people have been talking about is Scopper Gaban. Luffy has come across Crocus, knows Shanks, knows Buggy, knows some of the major players in the Roger Pirates. I wouldn't be shocked if Luffy were to meet Scopper Gaban. In my opinion, what I had theorized before, this is not posted because this is a mirror theory, I really wanted Luffy to learn Haki from Scopper Gaban. Advanced Haki, I mean. Let's say Advanced Conquerors, Advanced Ornament, Advanced Observation. One of the three. I wouldn't care what it was, but I really wanted Luffy to learn it from Scopper Gaban because he's the last remaining sort of in command, top leaders of the Roger Pirates that Luffy has yet to meet. And he's got an approval from 3 of the most, what you might call, notorious, influential pirates from the Roger Pirates. Okay, Shanks was an apprentice, but he's a Yonko. What the hell, brother? He's got approval from Rayleigh. Rayleigh's trained him with basic hockey, and that makes all the more reason as to why Scopper Gaban would be teaching him more stuff. Rayleigh didn't get enough time for Luffy to learn them, but then again, he did say that, advanced stuff like advanced conquerors, advanced observation cannot be learned through training. You have to go through fights. You have to go through fights in order to understand them. Okay, I'm ruling out the fact that Scopper Gaban has to train Luffy, but the fact that he has to come in contact with Luffy makes a lot of sense because he's the last remaining of the top 3 of the Roger Pirates that have yet to meet Luffy. Roger will never meet Luffy, but that doesn't mean the other person can't. That is an interaction I'm eagerly waiting for. So it also meets most of the criteria that we've been talking about. Number 1, Scopper Gaban, we have no idea where he is. Whether or not he's marked by flames is another question. We did see him somewhere when we were going through, I think it was after Whitebeard's death. Maybe we saw him. He was somewhere in the New World, smiling, had glasses on, looked exactly like Scopper Gaban with tattoo in his head. But maybe he has some sort of a scar. You never know. But for Scopper Gaban to meet Luffy, it meets most of the criterias. It's hard to find him because the Roger Pirates are scattered all around the world. And number 2, he's on hiding. Marines have no idea about him. No one has any lead on him whatsoever. Even when we talked to Rayleigh, he never mentioned any of his crewmates. And that sort of suggests that the Roger Pirates are in hiding, and the same goes for Scopper Gaban. And as to why he would have the last Poneglyph, because he was a member of the Roger Pirates. That makes a lot of sense. Duh. Alright. That ends my conclusion as from the characters we know. That could be the last person hiding the Poneglyph. But what I want to see is someone more interesting, someone we don't exactly know about. We have no leads on them. We have no idea who the character is. He just comes out of nowhere, who is marked by flames, somehow very influential to the pirate world that we have yet to know about. And lastly, this hint that we got from, I don't even know if this is real or not, but we got the message, rumors that Oda once spilled the beans about some of the in-game goals of One Piece, and he said a man with an eye patch would show up. And yeah, that would make a lot of sense because Oda wants to show pirate tropes, and I think we've gotten most of it other than the eye patch. We have yet to meet someone with an eye patch. And if it were to be someone very special, especially someone who knows about the last Poneglyph, who'll give Luffy a good run for his money, and as well as give him the Poneglyph, and we meet an interesting character, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised though, yeah, but it wouldn't be boring. It would be exciting. I would love it. That is it for my theory. That is it for my speculations. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, and peace.